Uh, yeah, that was a game, and it was against Charlotte, and yeah, it was what it was. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Raptors. I'm your host, Astisham, my channel where you get reviews, analysis, predictions, and hot takes on all things Raptors, as well as some NBA. So the Raptors played the Charlotte Hornets today. Or is it the Hornets? Yeah, I think it's the Hornets. I keep mixing them up with the Bobcats that they used to be. Anyways, and they're coming into this game with the fifth five-game winning streak. So did they win this game? So without further ado, let's talk Raptors versus the Hornets. So the Raptors came into this game that they just came in guns blazing in the start, took the lead, 17-point lead. Eventually, in the third quarter, they came out a little bit sloppy and turned out that Terry Rozier, who Boston should have never let go of because he's a really good player, kind of carries the Hornets on his back, gets them close to 3 point deficit. I think it was 73 to 70 or 76 to 73. And it seems like the Raptors might, blow this game, but I never really felt that. And the Raptors come out again. They show that they are a team that is firing on all cylinders and eventually take the lead. By mid fourth quarter, we had like a 14-15 point lead, and then it was pretty much over after that. There wasn't much in this game, man, honestly, but there were some key takeaways. Number one is it's well, I wouldn't say it's a key takeaway, but it is a worry that I want to discuss. It is that the Raptors are a very, very young team. And what happens with young teams is that they end up relaxing at the wrong times because they get either overconfident or there's just a break coming up. So right now, the Raptors are on a 5 game winning. Well, after today, they're on a 6 game winning streak. Did I tell you guys? So we won that game. And they're on a 6 game winning streak. And there's an all-star break coming up, and it seems like there's a possibility they might end up relaxing, and that kind of worries you because the next 3-4 games are against really shit teams, which I'll get to. And I'm just worried because today the Raptors were sloppy. They didn't look good on the defensive end. There were a lot of breakdowns on the defensive end, and it just seemed like they were overconfident in a way. I'm not saying they're going to be consistently doing this, but it just seemed like today. Maybe it's because it's the first game on a road trip, but it was something that worried me because young teams do that. But I have full confidence in Freddie VanVleet and Pascal because they have a tendency to take over the game whenever they feel like the Raptors aren't playing up to the level they should be playing at. So I think they're not going to let that type of shit happen. So it's just a worry I have, but let's see. So the first key takeaway is that the Raptors need to keep their foot on the damn accelerator because our our 3 out of 4 games. I don't remember who the fourth one is against, but one is against Oklahoma, one is against Houston, and one is against New Orleans Pelicans. All three of their teams are going to be ending up in the draft lottery, and they are shitty teams. Houston is doing okay for a young team. Oklahoma, not great. New Orleans has just been crap ever since Zion put on some weight. And yeah. And so the Raptors can win all three of those games. And currently, the Raptors are, after today's win, they're in the sixth spot. And they're 3 games behind of Philadelphia, I believe, and about 4 games back of Cleveland. And if we get these get these wins against easy teams, who we should be winning with our eyes closed, it's going to really help us in the standing and try to avoid the play-in, as well as create that distance between themselves and Brooklyn, because Brooklyn is going through shit right now. So that's my first key takeaway. The Raptors cannot relax until the All-Star break. During the All-Star break, do whatever the hell you want, but win these next few games because they're utterly important for us in the standing. The second key takeaway I have is that the Raptors have finally caught the rhythm. I've been saying that, they're getting there. Now, after a play I saw today, I feel like they're just near their peak, you know what I mean? and it seems like they're finally figuring out playing with each other, and playing with themselves. Okay, that sounded dirty, but they're finally figuring out where everybody will be, and their offense is flowing a little bit better. And my analysis there comes from this play where OG Anunoby drives baseline. He gets behind the basket because there's two defenders in front of him, and he just shoots the ball off to the 45 angle, and Freddie just waiting there, and he just shoots it, three-pointer, open, wide open. And OG didn't even look at him. OG didn't even care, and he just threw that ball right there because he knew Freddie would be there. And that tells you that this offense, this team has finally figured out where everybody will be. They have finally learned to trust each other. They know how to get the plays going that they practice in the practice sessions. And they are starting to get, you could say, a little bit more confidence in their ability to trust each other. So the Raptors are finally getting to that point. I still think that there's a little bit of higher step, and I do believe that will come from either somebody coming off of the bench that, who we have right now, or from a trade coming in that gives us that extra bench killer guy, kind of like Terry Rozier is, or somebody who just has that, dog in him. But the Raptors are almost there. Honestly, they're almost there. Hopefully they stay healthy and that can continue. The third key takeaway I have for you guys is today Nick Nurse did a damn good job at managing the minutes. Only guy was Pascal Siakam with 41 minutes, but you expect that from Pascal. He's got a motor like nobody. But everybody else was around 36, 37 points. 36, 37 minutes. And I think that has a lot to do with Chris Boucher coming off of the bench, giving us that energy, playing like a dog, playing like people say he's watching Dennis Rodman videos and playing like him. And just doing all the dirty work, grinding on the basket, doing everything he can possibly do to stay on the floor. And that is causing Nick Nurse to give him more minutes and resulting in more lesser minutes, and which is good for Freddie VanVleet, Pascal, well, not really Pascal, but Gary Trent Jr., the guys that can likely more get injured because coming off the screens, they're going to get hit harder because they're tinier, they're guards. So that was something that I noticed very well. But this is something that I would like to suggest to Mr. Coach Nurse is that, hey, you got games coming up against shit teams. Use your bench. Use Sivai Mihailuk. Use Malachi Flynn. Use Justin Champagnie. Use those guys a little bit more against Oklahoma City Thunder, Houston Rockets, New Orleans Pelicans, because you can use them, right? Teams like Charlotte Hornets, these guys are good. They're playoff teams, but the other teams are not. So you're going to need these guys. God forbid if somebody gets injured, you're going to need these guys. And especially if there's no trade that's going to be made, these guys are going to be important for you. So get them some rhythm against shitty teams. Give them the minutes, man. Trust them. Plug one guy in because your starters are still going to cover that one guy's mistake. Your starters are playing brilliant. So there's no harm in giving these guys some extended minutes. Some minutes, so they can get their rhythm going and be available when we need them. If Masai decides to not make any trade, you're stuck with these guys and you're going to need them in the playoffs, man. Or when there's going to be an injury. You don't want to take a step back just because you're not willing to give them another chance. That's what the Raptors are. They give people second chances, and that's what Nick Nurse needs to do. So that's what I have for you guys for key takeaway. MVP for this game, I will surprise you guys because it's 4 guys. It's not going to be one guy because everybody had a damn good game. Pascal had 24 points. He had a double-double. Gary Trent Jr. had 24 points. I think Freddie had 22 and OG had 20 points. So there wasn't one guy that just, took over the game, 30 points and shit like that. They all played a damn good game and they kept us leveled even when, Hornets made their run. So there wasn't much of an MVP. There wasn't much of a game. And I don't think we're going to have much of a game for the next 2, 3, or 4 games. So I'll try my best to get some key takeaways out of them, guys. Hopefully you guys still enjoyed the content. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It will really help my channel out. And I will see you guys after the game against Oklahoma City Thunder.